Hey everybody, and welcome back to Cody's Horror Channel. Today we are doing another Top 5 Tuesday. This one actually is a requested one, coming from a good friend of mine. And what we're going to do today is a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and that is killer clowns. I absolutely love clowns, whether they are spooky clowns in movies or just clowns in general. I'm a big fan of clowns. I feel like a lot of that comes from the fact that there are so many people that are out there that are afraid of clowns. Kind of makes me enjoy clowns a little bit more, but I do like collecting things that are just clowns or even circus related. So I'm excited to do this one. Thank you again for the request. Like I've said in other videos, if you guys have any of these other top 5 you'd like to see me do, feel free to leave them in the comments on TikTok, on YouTube, wherever you see me, and I will get to them if I can. So without further ado, let's get into the list. As I always do with any of these top 5 videos, I do have a couple honorable mentions. The first one coming in is kind of a surprise. I was chit-chatting with a coworker of mine about, kind of creepy clowns and all that kind of stuff at work, and he brought one to my attention that I didn't necessarily think of because my mind first goes to horror movies. But one that he talked about that kind of spooked him when he was a little kid, and I'm sure he's not alone, is Ronald McDonald. So I never really thought about that, but yeah, I could see that being kind of creepy to kids all over the nation, all over the world. So shout out to you, Ronald McDonald, for unnecessarily being a creepy clown. Another one too, a quick honorable mention. I got 2 more. One is the clown in Zombieland. This is a really cool combination of a zombie and a clown, and he's just really cool looking. I know he's not a huge part in the movie, but he's still really cool. And the other honorable mention that I have is one that I really like, and I was really close to putting him in this list. Even though he just didn't make the list, I want to give him a shout out here, and that is Captain Spaulding. I'm a big Devil Rejects fan. I am a big House of a Thousand Corpses fan. And I understand he's a clown, and I understand he fits into the bill, but just to me, for this list, I feel like it needs to be a lot more about the specific clown itself, and he was just a really big part in this movie, but not the part of the movie. He wasn't the guy, so he's number 6. He's right there. I'm a big Captain Spaulding guy, and R.I.P. So getting into my number 5 spot is a movie that I feel like is a little bit of a hidden gem. I don't think a lot of people talk about it, and I don't know why. I think it's a really good movie. I know it's a found footage movie. Not a lot of people like those types of movies, but I enjoy them. And this one is called Gags the Clown. So this is kind of interesting. This came out in 2016, which is kind of cool because if you guys remember, there was a craze going around about people having clowns just pop up all over the place. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that. It was in like every major city. This movie is basically based on that same thing happening in Wisconsin. And it follows some teens going around, a news reporter going around, a podcaster who's very vigilante style trying to go after this Gags the Clown. And it's just a really cool movie. It's a good watch. If you guys have not seen it, make sure you guys go check out Gags the Clown and let me know what you guys think of it. But he's cool. The atmosphere is creepy. I like the found footage vibe to it. It makes it just a little bit more spooky throughout the movie. Real quick, too, here before I get back to my list and start with number 4, a movie that I have yet to see, but I've heard a lot of good things about it that may crack my list at some point if I do watch it and do enjoy it, and that is Circus of the Dead. It looks cool. It looks creepy. It looks like exactly like something that I would like. So if you guys have seen Circus of the Dead, let me know how it is, and let me know if you think it's something that I would enjoy. So, all right, on to number 4. This was kind of a toss-up between 2 different movies here, but the one that I settled on for number 4 is Eli Roth's Clown. This is another really interesting movie that not a lot of people talk about, and it takes a cool kind of spin of the clown concept. So this movie is basically about a gentleman who's a contractor and who's supposed to book a clown for his son's birthday party and forgets. But luckily for him, in one of the houses that he's doing his job in, there's a suit in this old trunk. So he puts it on, he's the clown, everything goes well. But what he didn't know is he can't take this suit off. This suit basically starts to consume him and turns him into a demon clown. And the only way to break this curse is to eat so many souls of children. I think it's 6. I can't remember the exact number. So he gets really creepy, really spooky as the movie goes on, and goes more towards like a demonic clown than like an actual circus clown. But it's a good movie, very well done. I know there's a lot of other movies called just Clowns, so you got to kind of dig through them, but I showed you guys a picture of the cover there in the beginning. But check it out, really good, really well directed, really put together well, and just a really good enjoyable watch with a really cool creepy clown. Okay, so coming in at my number 3 spot is a movie that I really enjoyed. I know when it first came out, this is a newer movie. It did get a lot of praise. A lot of people did enjoy it. And this one is about clowns, but it's not necessarily about like face painted clowns like you would think, like with Gags the Clown or even like the Zombieland clown. But this is Clowns in the Cornfield. This is a really good slasher. This had a lot of good components to it. I love the teenage component, the high school component to it. I love the fact that there is multiple clowns. It's not just one clown. I like there's a little kind of funny bits in there as well. It's just a very good slasher. I enjoyed it. I can't necessarily think of the actor's name, but the gentleman in the movie who plays the mayor towards the end of the movie when he's donned in his actual clown makeup does a really good job. He has a very good Heath Ledger Joker vibe. So throughout this movie, it was just really good. The clowns are creepy. The outfits are cool. The multiple killers is always a fascinating part to it. And I very highly recommend Clown in the Cornfield if you guys have not seen it. So this is the part of the list where it got pretty tough for me. I'm now in my top 2. And to me, there are only 2 options left. And you may be thinking to yourself, there's only 2 options left. You've left a really big movie off of your list so far, known as Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I am one of the people who do not like that movie. I have watched it twice. I don't like it. I don't get it. I don't think it's a very fun watch, so that is not going to be on my list. The tough debate is between the 2 at the top, and those are 2 powerhouses in my opinion. So the struggle went back and forth, but I decided to go for my number 2 spot is Art the Clown from Terrifier. Absolutely love all of these movies. Loved them in All Hallows Eve. Terrifier 1 is not as good as 2 or 3. So if you've only ever watched Terrifier 1, please watch the other 2. Be advised though, tons of gore. Incredibly gory. If that's not your thing, you're not going to like it. I'll just say now, just skip it and don't ever worry about watching Terrifier. But if you're like me and you love the more gore the better, you're going to absolutely love these movies. Terrifier is great. He's a modern day horror icon, and he is my number 2 clown on my list as the best and creepiest clowns of all time. So coming in at the number 1 spot is probably no surprise to anybody. If you are in the horror community or any community when it comes to movies just in general, when you think clown, what do you think? Pennywise. So of course Stephen King's It is the first number 1 clown in my opinion. And along with some of the other lists, like when I did Sharks and I did Jaws, I don't think this is ever going to falter. I think Art the Clown is catching up, and he is gaining some ground, but Pennywise is just so iconic. Whether it's from the 1990s TV series adaptation into a movie with Tim Curry, or it's even the new modern ones with It Chapter 1 and 2, and then Welcome to Derry, he is just consistently creepy, consistently eerie. And I know there's always the argument that he's not really a clown. He basically just takes shape of what most people fear. He took over the shape of a clown as Bob the Performer because that's what people were scared of and so on and so forth. That's why you see him in a bunch of different other stuff. But he is known as Pennywise the Dancing Clown throughout the whole process. So I consider it a clown, even though I do know there's going to be pushback, or there can be pushback whether or not he is or isn't a clown. So, just a quick to go through, like I said, number 5, Gags the Clown. Number 4, Clown by Eli Roth. Number 3, Clown in a Cornfield. Number 2, Art the Clown. And number 1, the greatest clown in horror movies, and that is Pennywise himself.